Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a good amendment. It's a small amendment. In the scheme of things that we will discuss this evening, it's budget dust. But it's important, Mr. Speaker. It's important even though the numbers are small. What this amendment does, Mr. Speaker, is it funds what used to be called a drug task force, now is called an investigations unit, for the Sheriff's Department in Pacific County, Washington. Mr. Speaker, when we started this session, we spoke of channeling resources, of dollars, to law enforcement in our state. And sadly, Mr. Speaker, some of that conversation, some of that good discussion has fallen away. Mr. Speaker, it is incumbent on this legislature to support law enforcement in the state of Washington. You know the numbers, Mr. Speaker. We have record levels of property crime. We have record levels of violent crime. We have record levels of drug, I don't even want to call it crime, damage to the people in this state. Mr. Speaker, this is a small step to honor our commitment to support law enforcement here in this state. Mr. Speaker, we speak often of what's good in Washington state, and throughout our state's history, we have been known for having a high quality of life. It has been one of the reasons that people want to live in Washington. But in recent years, we have frittered away that advantage. We have given away the high quality of life that Washingtonians can enjoy. And Mr. Speaker, this has fallen disproportionately on small, rural communities like those in Pacific County. I know you know the stories, Mr. Speaker, but they're worth repeating. Small, rural, timber-reliant counties have been devastated by policy choices in this state. The industries that created wealth, that created jobs, that created opportunity for their people have been regulated out of existence, nearly. And the resources that the timber industry used to provide to schools and to law enforcement in these rural counties has dried up. We've tried to sort of put on Band-Aids and backfill that lost resource to these small counties, but we've largely fallen short even in those efforts. Mr. Speaker, this amendment won't fix a history of bad policy that has ruined rural counties and the communities in them around our state, but it is a small step in a better direction. It is a small thing we can do to help fight crime in rural Washington, to help restore good civic engagement in rural counties. And, Mr. Speaker, to keep our word to the law enforcement community, at least a little part of it, at least a letter of it, Mr. Speaker, that we would support cops and sheriff's deputies in Washington state. This is a small step, Mr. Speaker, but an urgent one and a clear one. Let's back law enforcement. Let's back the fight against crime in our towns and our communities. Let's restore what's good in our beautiful state, Mr. Speaker. Let's fix what's broken in Washington. Please vote yes on this amendment.